under dig. But man, I don't know what's going on right now, man. I mean, I, I did not have high expectations, but at the same time, I never thought that we'll be right back here. I didn't think we'll be right back here. It's like it's like how Thanos said, you know, it it's really like Thanos. Donald Trump is really like Thanos at this point because it's like all that shit we did.
With your own failure.
How?
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Somebody gonna make the meme. Somebody gonna make the meme, man. Let me live, Marvel. Let me live. But yeah, right back. Brought us right back. Sure did. On this week in 1968,
Catalyst for change has to be.
Shirley Chisholm became the first black woman to be elected into the United States Congress, man, on this day and night. On this week of 1968.
So I realize that this is a rough road, but a catalyst for change in a society is usually persona non grata with those who have been the beneficiaries of the system. A catalyst for change has to be able to withstand the insults, the humiliations, the abuses, and the slurs. What's wrong with my running for president of this country? After all, for 15 years, I have been the ghostwriter for a lot of them. So I realize that this is a rough road, but a catalyst for change in a society is usually persona non grata with those who have been the beneficiaries of the system. A catalyst for change has to be able to withstand the insults, the humiliations, the abuses, and the slurs. What's wrong with my running for president of this country? After all, for 15 years, I have been the ghostwriter for a lot of them. So I realize that this is a rough road, but a catalyst for change in a society is usually persona non grata
Shout out
with
to
those who
Shirley
have been the
Chisholm. My
beneficiaries
bad.
of the.
I don't want to even. I couldn't even cut off the second time. I had to let her ride. She said, "Hey, you thought Kendrick Lamar was dropping bars." Shirley Chisholm say, "Hey, I have been the ghostwriter for a lot of them. Hell, might as well put me in there." Yeah, man, I love that when I seen that. Boy, you got to love that, man. You got to respect black women in politics, man. Been holding it down since 1968, man. Gotta respect it. You think niggas was calling her a hoe? Probably was when she was, you know. But you think niggas was calling Shirley Chisholm with T-shirts, calling Shirley Chisholm a tramp in 1968? I don't think so, Jack. And once again, we said we not going back. Well, she said we not going back. But America said they can't wait to go back. They finna make us go back. Americans took the wheel and they turned this motherfucker around. They took the wheel and they turned us around. I'm like, oh my God. How the hell did they turn us around? This here had me rolling too, though. I ain't gonna.
Me.
You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. It's just so ironic how it just comes back. It keeps giving. South Park, just jokes, just keep on coming back and giving more life, man. You got to love it, man. Yeah, so it's a lot that we've been having to deal with. Americans, PTSD, have already been triggered immediately after the election, and you got folks that's hurt out here. But this is what happened last time, and this is damn near what happened this time. It's like history repeats itself. Y'all check out this clip from a town hall with D1, and these folks were saying, "Not on my watch." You know, the D1 had posted this on the 5th right before the election.
In 2016, old boy won Wisconsin by 23,000 votes. But in Milwaukee alone, 93,000 blacks didn't vote.
Not on my watch.
In 2016, Lil Daddy won Florida by 113,000 votes. But in Miami alone, 379,000 blacks didn't vote.
Not on my watch.
In 2016, old boy won Michigan by 11,000 votes, dog. But in Detroit, 277,000 black people didn't vote.
Not on my watch.
Man, in 2016, Lil Daddy won Pennsylvania. Beans. He won Pennsylvania by 44,000 votes. But in Philadelphia, 238,000 blacks didn't vote.
Not on my watch.
And last but not least, in 2016, Lil Daddy won Georgia by 211,000 votes. But in Atlanta, the black Mecca, 530,000 blacks did not vote.
Not on my watch.
Unfortunately, once again, we have predicted our own downfall for even getting our hopes up into believing that this country was ready to allow a woman to run the country. These old men, you think these old men was going to be happy to see something like that? No, sir. When folks say that they don't like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Obama's policies, it's because they don't, it's mostly, I don't know if I should say it, but we're here. It's mostly anti-gay, anti-LGBTQ trope. But they don't really like say it clearly. But they finna get straight to, they finna straight forward. They finna get straight to it.
Mama, is Massa gonna sell us tomorrow? Yes, yes, yes. Mama, is Massa gonna sell us tomorrow? Yes, yes, yes. Mama, is Massa gonna sell me tomorrow? Yes, yes.
Here we go, man. I hope y'all ready. Man. Trump administration is going to be wild. Part 2? You mean that we get a sequel? We actually get a sequel, my nigga? This finna be ridiculous. Absolutely unorthodox, unprecedented type of action. Oh yeah, that's a crazy clip. All right, I'm down to my crazy clips. Okay, so I'll chill on the clips for a second. But yeah, My boy already getting into it. Matter of fact, that ain't my boy, but I guess people gonna be saying it's my boy pretty soon, cause just how we gonna be covering him. But you know, we bite. Hey, and guess who we bite talking about? Old Orange Man.
Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
It starts. It starts. He ain't even president yet. He ain't even president yet. And everybody just sitting back just watching this shit. They ain't even coming in. I don't know. I gotta do my research because I ain't gonna say they not, but like, what is the response to this? You know, what is going on?
In this war, Joe Biden has sided against the United States and with the cartels. They are making more money than they've ever made before, times 10. There's never been anything like it. They're major companies. They're bigger than even some of our biggest companies. Biden's open border policies are a deadly betrayal of our nation. When I am president, it will be the policy of the United States to take down the cartels, just as we took down ISIS and the ISIS caliphate, and just as, unlike the situation we're in today, we had a very strong border, the strongest border, in fact, in the history of our country, and drugs were at
Sound familiar?
a low of 45 years.
Does it sound familiar? Now it's a war on drugs again.
There's been nothing like what we did just 2 years ago. We will show no mercy on the cartels. Every day, drug traffickers are using the waters of our region to ship their lethal poisons to America, killing so many of our people and ruining families. In addition to restoring strong border security, I will deploy all necessary military assets, including the U.S. Navy, to impose the full naval embargo on the cartels. I did that before, and it worked. What we did was incredible. We will guarantee that the waters of the Western Hemisphere are not used to traffic illicit drugs to our country. Furthermore, I will order the Department of Defense to make appropriate use of special forces, cyber warfare, and other overt and covert actions to inflict maximum damage on cartel leadership, infrastructure, and operations. I will designate the major cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We will sever their access to global financial systems. I will also work to forge an unprecedented partnership with neighboring governments in our region, just like I did in Mexico. And remember, in Mexico alone, an estimated 100,000 civilians have been tragically murdered or gone missing at the hands of these cartels. The Mexican government, run by a very fine man, the president, is really working hard, but it's not working out. These cartels are vicious and they're violent, and they have Mexico for now stymied. Well, we have to help Mexico, and we have to stymie the cartels.
Whoa. Whoa. I'm telling you, like, it's just down my timeline. You know, folks is mad. I don't even like say like I'm not even mad. Now it's time to get prepared. You know, we've seen it before. Now it's time to know, like understand what, you know, get your mask out, do whatever, you know, like understand that this time around though, they kicking it in gear first day out. They taking advantage of every day. They not wasting no time this time around. They know exactly what they want to do. They know what they want to do.
Out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
Let's reset for a second because, look, this is a really heated issue, right? And Sharmichael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this. I think out of respect for Jay, like, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
Okay, so let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't. Just to be clear, you are not being targeted.
I am, but it's okay.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not. But he wants to sit here and bloviate.
I'm saying you're using a phrase that you know.
So the way regular people interpret it,
that's not regular people. That's not regular people. There's no consensus that these are actually boys. This whole thing about trans girls is a canard. We're talking about a tiny, tiny sliver of the population.
That may be the
and we're
case,
using
but
that
my point in terms
to take
of
away
its
healthcare from
effectiveness.
thousands of people.
Hold on, just get to your point.
My point in terms of its effectiveness. Regular people with children look at these things and they say, you know what, this is a bit too far. I do not agree with this. I don't like this. I think Democrats are going way too much to the left on social issues. They're uncomfortable with it. A lot of people believe that. A lot of families believe that. You may disagree with that reality, but that's why Republicans kept running those ads over and over and over again, because they saw the metrics suggested that they were working.
In those ads over and over again and using rhetoric like you just used, saying this is boys playing girls sports. First of all, we're talking about 5 people in the entire country.
You would prefer?
We're talking about trans girls being allowed to play with the people who are in their gender. And if you don't believe, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association.
The American Medical Association.
This is not about the
guys.
right? This is about trying.
Yeah. So here we are. Oh man. I mean, even listening to Donald Trump get right to it, I really can't. I really have nothing to say. I think it's gonna be a lot of ridiculousness to come. I just gotta just reserve my right to speak for right now and wait on what's going. What exactly is happening here. But because I don't even know. Like, we ain't even gonna be able to cover Trump. You post something with Trump pretty soon, it's gonna be hell to pay. You got something bad to say. The Hunger Games is upon us. Yeah, man, it's crazy out here. That's all I can say. I kind of jump right into it. Trump won the election. How do y'all think that happened? Why is that even a possibility? How is it a possibility that as a felon you cannot move into a certain apartment? They could hold it against you to get a certain job, but as a felon and a white billionaire, you can still become the president of the United States. And then they're going to wipe that felony away and act as if it all doesn't exist. It's time to just act like none of that stuff really happened. It's all made up from the radical left and this deep state and all these buzzwords that these folks be using. Like, I don't have any doubt that they, have opposition, and there are people that are out that, are, I guess, against certain people, and they just consider them, a certain group because they have a certain, power and alignment. And they protect their allies. I get it. And so I guess that's the deep state. And then, they have the Antifa talk. Already we have protests in Chicago. Like, come on, y'all. Like, and that's what we gonna do. We just gonna, like, we have the right to protest, like, but, just to make folks mad, like, I almost feel like them folks were just like, they was like, oh, they won. Time to get back to work. Nigga woke up and was like, nigga was counting the days. Oh, Donald Trump back in. Nigga went and picked up their picket signs and went outside. Ready to picket and protest and riot. What is that going to solve? They tell us to vote, and that's supposed to solve something. But millions of people supposedly didn't vote this time. And then there's other millions of votes that supposedly wasn't counted. Or the fact that at least 15 million registered Democrats didn't vote. Just didn't vote. And folks voted less in this election than they did before. But I must say, Donald Trump performed. In every dynamic, his numbers increased. The people have spoken. A lot of people are saying, and this is something that we have to, those that were even opposed or didn't think that he should have an opportunity to become president again, there are people that feel that we should respect the decision of half of the country that have chosen their leader. They've chosen their representative of our country, the decision maker, and they want the guy who supposedly tells it like it is, even if it isn't like it is, it's just the way he